So today I got called out in yoga class. I just came back, hence the crazy hair over here. But it was really interesting how I was called out inside yoga class because, the instructor said, to go into child's pose and just how my flow and my body was like, instead of going to child's pose, I went into downward facing dog because that's just how my body like moves automatically on autopilot, right? And of course, the instructor was like, Fritz, child's pose. And I was like, oh yeah, shit. And she talked about being present in the moment, right? When we're so in on our heads, we stop, we just go on autopilot, which serves us a lot in life. But at the same time, it really takes us away from being really truly present with what we're doing and putting the intention in and getting more out of what we're doing, more meaning out of what we're doing. And so, just that experience alone was very like eye-opening for me. And, um she told a story about how when you driving is one of the things that we do on autopilot, right? Like she was supposed to go somewhere but she ended up driving to the yoga studio that she owns, even though she was not supposed to go there, because we're so much in autopilot. And how practices, mindfulness practices such as yoga is so useful, and that's why I'm there, to become more present in my life, because being present just gives you a lot of true meaning as to what you want to do. And because the brain just links things, from one thing to another, what I had also realized was how really truly present we need to be with our clients, right? If you're a coach, if you're a hypnotherapist, being truly present with your client is one of the best things that you can do. And that's why I have really come away from the traditional modality of hypnosis where I read scripts or I had like tons of cues. Like I had tons of like notes here whenever I was with my clients, and just having cues alone, like notepads here, really takes you away from being present with your clients because you're reading, right? Like I was traditionally trained to, do the script thing. Even though I wrote the scripts for my clients, it didn't really matter because, oh, at the same time, when I would do something like a technique such as a regression, on my client, I was reading off of something. And because I'm reading off something, it also became very automatic. And it took me away from really just being with my client. And I didn't realize it up until then, until I decided to do ACH and just actually know what it feels like to be present with our clients. And so it's just one of these things where I encourage you today to look at what you're doing and how you can be more present in whatever it is that you're doing. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't even take a lot of energy. And it actually makes you more efficient when you're really truly present with yourself. Or if you're seeing clients today, how can you stop thinking about all the to-do lists in your mind, so that you can be really truly present with your client? Because that's also one of the things that I used to do, right? Sometimes I would just so get stressed, I would stress myself out. This was a completely self-led, like self-led problem. Like I did this shit to myself, right? Where I would stress myself out and be so worried about, having the amazing breakthrough, having the amazing session with them, and getting over my head so many times, and getting worried about what I was going to say to my client, or what's going to happen next, being worried about what's going to happen in the session, not fully trusting myself. And that really took away from the session, that took away from being present with my clients, because what was I doing? I was worrying about myself, right? I wasn't really being present with my client in front of me, because I just, wasn't present and I was too worried about what other people would think about me. That was really the core truth to it, right? So today, just encouraging you to ask yourself, how can you be more present in your life, in your sessions with your clients, right? If you are, someone who uses healing techniques with your clients, instead of focusing on the technique itself. How about focus on what the client is telling you, what they're not telling you, what they're actually saying in between the lines, because it is through doing that that you'll actually help them break through and transform faster, which is like one of the biggest principles we teach in ACH. So, just by being present and listening to your clients, not just the words they say, but how they say it and how they act, is really going to help you have faster breakthroughs with them. Because when we as coaches and hypnotherapists are too worried about what happens next, too worried about whether a session has worked, too worried about whether or not we'll give our clients results, which, to be truthful, that's not our job. Our job is only to facilitate, right? When we take the pressure off ourselves and learn how to do that and have a method that helps you with that, that really helps you to become more present with your client. Not only are they going to have amazing, fast, and lasting results, they're also really going to appreciate you. They're going to feel seen and heard because you are present with them, and they'll just know that unconsciously. And it just makes for such a better, much more fulfilling experience for you and for them. And they will only respect you, right? They can only refer you. Their transformation can only be better because you're just unconsciously being present with them, and they can feel that internally. And so, I'm all about being present, all about being mindful. And so encouraging you today to really think about this. And even if you're just going to get better today, 1%, that is good too, right? Any, small progresses and small changes over time is really what helps you do this. And so me getting called out in yoga today was probably the best thing that happened to me today, because I got a lot of shit to do today. And so that's why I wasn't being present. That's why my body was just like kind of going all over the place. I wasn't listening to the instructions of the yoga instructor because there's so much to do today. Exciting stuff, by the way. But it's just one of these things to just remind ourselves to, when you're doing something, just be present, because you're actually going to be faster at it, more efficient at it, and you'll just get the most out of it. So I hope that helps. And otherwise, I will see you soon.